Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gen. In this video, I've got some airdrop updates for you. So let's get into it. Before we do, just remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Please do your own research because I'm just a guy on YouTube. And if you want extra coaching, guidance, and support, check out my paid services linked down below. And make sure you smash the like button, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. So the first airdrop update has to do with Kaito and the Kaito ecosystem. More and more projects are coming out talking about how they're going to airdrop tokens to early yappers, members of the Kaito ecosystem. And this is incredible because this InfoFi has really changed the game. We used to do a lot of testnet stuff. You used to see a lot of it. Then we moved to liquidity-based sort of initiatives. And now InfoFi is ruling the day. And this post really summarizes it from Yoohoo. Basically, there's a ton of drops that are coming up for Kaito, and it's incredible. Things like Human Finance, which I'm going to talk about later today, Sol Protocol, Infinex, Magic Newton. Also, we've got Trifomo, Novastro, and as you know, Virtuals has been giving out daily Virgin points to eligible Kaito stakers, and much, much more, right? Like we just showed you Skate, and there's others that keep getting announced. So one of the things that I did was I went in and I staked at least 5,000 Kaito token. I know it's a hefty amount, and some people will not be able to afford it. I understand. But if you do have the money, maybe consider getting it, or maybe get the YT Kaito. I'm not the biggest fan of it because it does expire at a certain time. And I believe the Kaito token will go up given enough time. I feel like it is one of those unique product market fits. So like Hyperliquid, where we saw the airdrop and the token kept going up in price. We're seeing the same thing with Kaito. And I'll be honest, I got a lot of my Kaito at 80 cents and then like $1.70 or $1.60. So I'm well in profit, and these tokens are doing fantastic. Tons of rewards coming to the flywheel. So I really like it. Now, I picked 5,000 because 5,000 was the number you needed to get virtuals and get the Virgin points. You can get away with a lot less for a lot of other rewards, but that's sort of the ultimate goal in sort of my eyes. The next update is on Cudas. So this is a project that I talked about almost a year ago. They were building these sort of sports ring, kind of like the Aura ring. And I know many of you did sign up for them. If you did and you have a Cudas ring and you sort of have the account and everything, make sure before May 25th, you go and confirm your Solana wallet. That way you will be eligible for the exclusive token airdrop. Okay, make sure you do that. Make sure you fill in the relevant information, sort of like you see here, and you're good to go. Also, links to all that stuff will be down below. Also, there is a checker for a claim that started on May 22nd, and this has to do with the Stable airdrop. So they're rewarding a lot of different types of users. So even if you've never actually dealt with the Stable ecosystem, you may have touched something related to it or adjacent to it. So go in and connect your wallet and basically see if you have qualified, right? Basically, it's a new frictionless DEX on Sol, and it processes about 25 to 50% of all stablecoin volume. So definitely check it out. You can go claim your allocation by connecting your Solana wallet. I definitely think it's worthwhile. I qualified for like $3 or $4, but hey, every dollar counts. Now, let's get to the big airdrop. So I went to Token 2049, one of the side events a couple of weeks ago, and this was the talk of the town. And I'll be honest, there were some whales with some massive wallets who were talking about how this was an important airdrop opportunity. They mentioned that this would have their token generation event in May, and it did happen. So we got the announcement a couple of days ago, and now we have a lot more information on the Human token and sort of how it's going to work. Now, there's a full post here talking about 10 billion tokens and how all this stuff is distributed. You guys probably want to know the basics. So if you aren't following me on Twitter, make sure you do that. What I've done is I've distilled this information down into the most pertinent information you need. The first thing was the snapshot was taken on May 18th, which means that any other feathers, like it hasn't been confirmed, but it would stand to reason that since you were earning feathers beyond that, there will be a season 2 airdrop, and that's where this feathers will go. Now we know season 2's airdrop has been confirmed, and it will take place about 3 months from the token generation event. Now, 5% of the token supply will be given to the airdrop, and 65% of it is going to be associated with those providing liquidity, and it's going to be fully unlocked. 10% of the airdrop will be dedicated to community engagement. So this is the yapping and all that. So if you are sort of in Kaito and you're doing all that stuff, you just go to the Yapper leaderboards. You go to Huma and see how you're doing on day 30, right? So 30-day yappers. And I think I'm the 60th one or whatever. So I always do this by thing, yeah, 60th. And no, I don't memorize this. I checked it earlier. So if you are on the leaderboard, you should be qualified for another bonus, which is a very good flywheel, right? So you talk about the project and you get rewards. Now, I like the project, so I talk about it. Now, the yappers will also receive their rewards through campaigns launched on Kaito. So 0.2% of supply will be airdropped around TGE. And important dates, well, the snapshot date, I mentioned it. The eligibility checker comes out today on May 24th. And 2 days later on May 26th, you can claim for about a month, okay? Beyond that, if you're wondering sort of how much a feather is worth, basically I did the math because we got all the information we need, and it comes out to each feather is worth 0.12 Huma tokens, which are going on average for 7 cents on the pre-market. Hopefully much, much more. But speaking of the pre-market and the price, because we did have a Jupiter vote, so hopefully you voted for that, it had passed, which was fully expected, right? 86% voted for a pass. And now if you stake Jupiter or you're a Huma OG, you can pre-buy the Huma token at a 1/10 valuation. However, it is locked for 3 months. So you have to claim on August 25th. I qualified through Jupe. I put my $8 in Meteora and we're good to go. You can try to put more, but let me tell you something, it won't let you. Definitely something to consider. I mean, it's not a big amount, but maybe this $8 turns into like 100. Be nice. Now, my good friend Samariel did also remind me today about the Sofon Checker. So their token generation event does happen in a couple of days. This is another protocol that's very tied into Kaito. Samariel and Cool Crypto kept reminding me about, and probably kept reminding you if you follow them, about the Sofon early adopter role and Friends of Sofon. So Friends of Sofon meant you had to connect the NFT, and this is sort of what they kept posting about. So I connected sort of my Discord and I got that role. And, you know, we see here today like what the contribution is, but let me just show you here. I've qualified for almost 9,000 SOF tokens through the Friends of Sofon role in the Discord and through the ZK Sync power user, which is fantastic because it's been a long time since I've used the ZK Sync. It's good to see that it's come in handy. Definitely go and check. The claim goes live on May 28th at 4 p.m. Okay. Now, one thing I do want to show you here is some of the information around the SOF distribution. And like I said, this is not something that I plan on using long term, but the initial airdrop will be 9%. I will leave all this information here so you can check it out if you'd like to. Okay. There is some activities going on with Abstract. So we've talked about how to basically farm this chain. And by farming this chain, I mean just getting some exposure. So getting early into the bigger memes on chain. So that's Newt and I believe it's called Abster. You earn XP for doing those activities I've talked about in the past. You can see here my XP so far. I'm almost at gold. I just started taking it a bit more seriously in the last few weeks. So you go in here and you can play the games like Gigaverse. But there is something interesting here with the Red Bull Racing. So you have a couple days so you have 3 days to mint these free NFTs. You click mint now. It opens the Gate.io website, and basically you can claim on each day. I believe there's a couple hours left as I'm shooting this video to claim the Australian icon and the first win. I'm not bothering with the rare ones because honestly, it's not worth paying 0.002 ETH, 0.002 ETH for like something that's not guaranteed to give me something. Okay. Also, if you have a Dilio Maker, so this is the NFT, everyone was airdropped this sort of hair item. I will include the instructions on how to claim that in Gigaverse. I believe it's worth $50 now. It was worth about $100 when it got airdropped, which is still pretty cool. So I'll include the instructions here if you do have that NFT. Okay. And finally, for those of you who are interested, this is another Samarial Alpha that I had no idea about. You can mint your Calera XYZ domain. Go in and sort of do it for free. I went and got the browngen.era. I also got the villain.era, but definitely go in, get your own domain. I think it's worthwhile getting that on-chain exposure. Hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, see you later.